So I'm going to toss out my predictions here for the upcoming midterm elections. I want to go about this. I don't want to just say what I think is going to happen. I want to go behind my reasoning for it and my biases and my where I've been wrong or right in the past. So basically, do I think there's going to be a blue wave? No, I don't think there's going to be a blue wave. Do I think the Republicans will do great? Depends what you mean by great, but no. I think it'll be a very close race. I think Republicans will keep control of the House. I think if they lose seats, it's going to be very, very few seats. Overall, I think it's going to be pretty much similar to what it is now. I don't know if they'll gain seats or not. I think it's possible. More possible than like the stats show, but unlikely. I think they might lose 1 or 2 seats in the House. But overall, they'll still maintain control of both houses, I think. I don't think there's going to be some major blue wave. So what's my reasoning for that? Where's my biases? Well, biases, I lean to the right. I don't like Republicans, and I much prefer libertarians, but I much prefer Republicans to Democrats. So I suppose in the end, I want, if I could have my way, I would want more of a red wave than a blue wave. Although I do kind of like the gridlock because I don't like horrible things happening, and usually with gridlock that tends to stop a lot of bad things from getting through. But looking at it here, so my past forecast, my past predictions, where I've been right and where I've been wrong. So I'm saying take what I say with a grain of salt, but take what I'm about to say upcoming with what works, or like where's my thinking behind it and what we have to take into account. I think that's important because that's actually saying stuff that's happening, whereas my overall prediction, again, it's not worth that much because Brexit, I was wrong about Brexit. I thought it would lose by about 1 or 2%, just barely, like a small loss, but it turned out that people voted for Brexit, which I'm not complaining about at all. Trump, I figured like a 60% chance that Trump would win, so I was still kind of divided. I thought he would win, but again, 60% chance he can win, which isn't very well. It's a lot different from what people are forecasting. I was saying, like, don't discount the fact that I didn't have a channel back then, so I couldn't say it publicly. But I said, like, this guy could win. Like, the whole 2% chance of him winning was not accurate at all. He had a good chance of winning, just not, like, there was not a definite chance that he would win. But yeah, like 60-40 was my thoughts, and what do you know, he won. I was wrong about the French election. I thought Marine Le Pen would win, and she didn't. But I didn't follow the French election that well. I just heard bits and pieces there, and it seemed like she was going to win. But with this upcoming midterm election, there's a few things to keep in mind. One thing is that Republicans tend to turn out a lot more for midterm elections than Democrats. Like registered Republicans as a group tend to vote more in midterms than registered Democrats. So that's something that is a benefit for the Republicans that make you suggest that, hey, the Republicans, they might actually gain some seats. They might not lose as many seats as you would think. Again, I have this up here. This is 538.com, which everyone seems to trust as the most reliable poll forecasting out there. Nate Silver seems to be a great statistician, obviously biased, but I think when it comes to the statistics, even though he was wrong during the election, I guess this is he's still kind of the number one trusted, and he seems to say there's a 18% chance that Republicans will keep control of the House. I don't know where he's getting his stats from. I'm not a statistician at all, so I can't say he's wrong. I can't say the stats are false. But I think the chances of of Republicans keeping the House is more like 70, 80%. Like, I'm not 100% confident, but I'm quite confident. 75, 80%, something like that they will keep the House. So, yeah, my thoughts for that. Republicans turn out more for midterm elections, though on the one hand, this is also a time where Republicans control the presidency, the House, and the Senate. And usually, during the midterms, what happens is people tend to flip the other way. People vote for a candidate during the election. Sometimes that candidate that has the presidency, that party, will also take the House and the Senate, or at least have some power. And usually what happens is people are disappointed with their results. The politician breaks their promises. Things don't work near as well as they expected. So during midterms, they flip the other way. We saw this with Obama. The Republicans did pretty well in Congress. during the midterms during Obama's presidency, because they voted for him the first time. They saw he wasn't keeping some of his promises, so a lot of the centrists and independents flipped the other way. Which, of course, this is all what it's all about. You know the Republicans are going to vote Republican. You know the Democrats are going to vote Democrat. It's all down to what do the centrists and the independents and the people that lean certain ways vote. And, of course, there are also defections from the right to the left and so on. So who knows where things could be in that aspect. But what I'm seeing there is, so we sort of finished up that thought. We know that there is kind of a bias to lean Democrat because the Republicans control the presidency, the House, and the Senate. So there is a bit of influence that way towards the left because that's what happens in midterms. Now, moving on to other things. I will point out I'm quite young. I'm 22 years old. And I have not experienced very many elections. The 2016 election was the first that I actually paid quite a bit of attention to. So I cannot say, based on past experiences, the 2012, 2008 elections like that, I barely paid attention to those at all. But from what I'm being told by people that are much older than me, this is unique. That things are a bit different now, and that the country is much more divided. People are much more polarized. People have all been saying that this election is the most important election ever, but now people are saying it even more. So in that aspect, things could be different. Like, people are still so polarized that who knows what will happen. This is also a time where I think the media hype of Trump's presidency prior to the election honestly will probably influence the will honestly help in the Republicans' favor this time, because they predicted doom and gloom, they predicted awfulness, they predicted like FEMA camps, they predicted fascism, they predicted literally Hitler, they predicted all these horrible things. Trump's going to take away all your rights and everything, which up to the level of expectation to the point where if Trump was anything less than Hitler, he was doing a good job, basically. Or at least that's how I've seen it, where people lost trust in the media, and the media was wrong. Like, they were wrong about all kinds of things. They're wrong about the election. They're wrong about a lot of the things he's been doing. I know they're still gung-ho putting out all this false information. The whole, as far as I can tell, Trump has not gone after LGBT rights. There's the trans in the military thing, which I don't think that's a right. But you can consider that from a centrist point of view as an attack on the trans community by removing their ability to be in the military. Which honestly, I don't even know if that got through the whole way. But as far as I can tell, it did. You can see that an attack. There's the whole thing about the Congress is now, or the Trump is now, or the government. Can't think of the word. The government is now considering redefining gender, which there's been a lot of haze about that. So again, I'm not saying what's true or not. I'm saying, what do people think? How are people perceiving what's happening? And in that sense, that could definitely be hurt. That could definitely confirm some of their fears, and it caused a lot of people that figured, oh, Trump won't be bad, to maybe flip the other way. And I think those people that actually voted for Trump are willing to look into the information, look into things more, and not necessarily trust the media. So that, in that sense, a lot of this could have been for naught. A lot of the putting out fake news and dramatizing things could have been for naught. But yeah, I think the whole hype of Trump's going to be awful. I mean, it's been about 2 years, and he hasn't been awful. In fact, I think, in my opinion, he's done a pretty good job. There are quite a few things I'm incredibly disappointed on. The Syria strikes, the deficit going up. He is spending so much more, raising spending, which is, if there's one position, if there's one thing he could do, and the rest of them would be awful, if there's one good thing he would do, honestly, I want him to cut down on spending. And he hasn't done that at all. He's cut, for every penny he's cut, he's raised military spending by quite a bit, which is not a good thing in terms of money, because the government is even closer to being broke now. So I think that'll hurt him. But overall, he's not done a lot of the horrible things that the media said he would. And for that reason, I think that people probably have a more favorable view of Trump, because normally it goes down over time. Normally the opinion of a president goes down throughout the term because they realize these promises aren't being kept. This isn't what I voted for. This isn't what I thought would happen. And they tend to switch over. But I think the expectations were so, low, that he would be so awful, that the fact that he's not absolutely awful has allowed them to say, or has influenced people to say, okay, well, he's not near as bad as I was told, which means he's not really that bad. And that might diminish a bit of the influence of people to go the opposite way. What else is there? There's a lot of the most recent things that have been happening in the news. There's the Kavanaugh thing with the whole Kavanaugh attacks, or the sexual assault allegations, which the more I looked into it, the less true I thought they were. To the point where I don't know, either she's at best she is, at best she took false memories and she was wrong about it, but didn't necessarily lie, but put out information that she believed to be true but actually wasn't, and at worst she lied. So I think overall most people saw through that pretty well. They saw what happened to Kavanaugh, they felt bad for him, and I think overall that might have caused a few people to lean more towards the Republicans because they saw the awful stuff happening there. I think that probably helped the Republicans. The caravan also coming. There's this huge caravan of migrants, thousands of them. The highest number I saw was about 14,000. It's been growing, of course, as people are jumping in as it crosses up north. Apparently, it's not going to be here meaning the U.S. border, for another month, so not till after midterms. But that caravan scares people. Some people have been saying that the caravan will influence people to vote left because they want the people to be taken in, but that caravan looks scary. I think that caravan looks scary to a lot of people. They see a lot of these people coming in all saying, like, they demand entitlements, they demand all this stuff, like, they demand the U.S. take them in, the U.S. owes them something for some reason. Honestly, I think that will influence more people to go right. Because they see that caravan, they're like, crap, we need border control, we don't want all these people coming in illegally, so I think that will influence more people to move right to get the wall done. Or at least some kind of border security out of fear of these people. What else? There's a few other things, honestly, in the news. Just the pipe bomb thing, I don't think really changed anyone's mind. Nobody got hurt. That's a big thing. I think if somebody actually did get hurt, then that would have much likely increased the chances of it going left of the like left wing, more left wing votes. But I don't think it changed much because nobody got hurt. The guy was a total moron when it came to making pipe bombs. So, I don't know, but I don't think that affected much at all. One other things, what else is there? There's not too much more. I think that's overall where I stand on this. That I want to say there's, honestly, probably what the opposite of this forecast says. Probably, like I said, 75-80% of Republicans keeping the House. About 20% chance of them losing it. So, it's possible, but not much. I think it's more likely that Trump will, or that the right will keep the House and Senate than they will, than the chances of Trump getting elected, which he did. But yeah, there's not much more to that. I want to know what you think in the comments. Oh, one more thing. That's what I was thinking. A lot of people seem to be backpedaling on the whole blue wave thing. Like, you saw that a lot. Like, blue wave, blue wave, blue wave. Now it seems to be backpedaling. Like Bernie Sanders says, hey, I don't think there's going to be a blue wave. A lot of people are kind of saying, like, blue wave? We never said anything about a blue wave. I think the fact that people are backpedaling there a bit is evidence that they're not that confident in the left taking back the House and Senate. They're not that confident, so of course when it shows out that they don't want a repeat of 2016 where they say this is definitely going to happen and then they're wrong. I think that's a bit of influence there where they're a bit worrisome there, which is a good sign. But the issue is, like, obviously I lean right, so most people I talk to, most people that I see on social media, they're saying, like, yeah, we're like, they're voting Republican. They're hardcore voting Republican. They're all for this, and there's definitely going to be a red wave, and there's definitely not going to be a blue wave, and I'm trying to, like, step back from that as much as I can because I know I'm biased in that direction. I know, or at least the people I talk to, I know my circle that I communicate with is all biased in that direction, so I need to try to step back a little bit and really see what the cases are that the left could take it back. But no, I think 80% chance, that's my prediction. So I guess in that sense, to make an actual yes or no prediction, yes, I predict that the Republicans will keep the House and the Senate. That is my prediction. I'm 80% sure of that, so we'll see what happens. I don't claim to be an expert, but this is nice to at least document kind of what I'm saying. So in years from now, when I make more predictions, we can see if I'm insanely wrong, or if I'm right, or what. But I'm just telling you those like 6 things I mentioned there, my reasoning behind this. But let me know what you think in the comment section. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If there's anything that you think played an influence one way or another, let me know. That's interesting to see all the people saying, like, what about this? What about this? So I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on what you think. And obviously, my comment section probably going to be a bit more leaning towards a red wave happening. I should correct that. I don't think there will be a red wave. I don't know if I had mentioned that or not. I don't think there will be a wave of any kind. I just think that the right will do a lot better than people are saying they will. They'll keep control of the House and Senate. One more thing. During the election, there were a lot of never Trump people. There were a lot of never Trump Republicans that would say, absolutely not, we're not voting Trump. We're right-wing, we're Republican, we'll vote for Republicans, but we're not pro-Trump. Whereas it seems now that has kind of fizzled away. And it seems that the whole like Trump Republicanism is really taking over the whole party, which is a good sign, I think, for Republicans. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm really interested to see the opinions going out, or the predictions. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and thanks for watching.